This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
You'll know MMA fighter Raquel Pennington, Rocky, as the UFC's newly crowned bantamweight champ. A record of 16-8, a 6-fight win streak, and you just got to watch her fights. She's ready for all comers and is one of the best in and out of the octagon. Raquel jumped a Zoom with us last year, and at the time, we talked about the hunt for the title, the grind and the discipline, the sacrifice that's needed to make it all come together. You can see the full video at Toddcast YouTube. She talks about how the women's fighting game has changed over the years. Talked about seeing NSYNC in concert, COVID and a mental reset and focus on family. We talked about the shows that we were both binge watching at the time, sports she played as a kid, basketball, softball, volleyball, running cross country. We talked about cheat foods, watching tape of opponents, and stop me if you've heard this before. Raquel shared the story of breaking her leg, getting nerve damage, and continuing to fight in MMA.
One of my worst injuries was actually before I fought Amanda, and I ended up breaking my leg and sustaining the nerve damage that I did. I barely avoided amputation, so life could have really changed there. And,
wow.
I can't feel half of my leg.
No.
Yeah, so it's like an interesting feeling, but like when it initially happened, I was already in an 18-month layoff, had major surgeries after the Miesha Tate fight, and then they offered me the biggest fight of my career for the world title. And it was like, I came back, and then all of a sudden I ended up in that accident, and I just pushed myself. And, I fought through a broken hand. My last fight, I busted my hand and kept going. And, I've done things, but this one was just one of a kind. And when Amanda kicked it in that first round, I was like, oh, something is really wrong. And I've never felt pain to that degree. So I really had to slow down and learn how to function with that. We had to get the nerve conduction test. We had to do all kinds of stuff to my leg. I lived in physical therapy. And it was just all right, I need to take this thing really serious and figure it out. And they were worried about drop foot, compartment syndrome in my leg. There were so many things. My calf was rolled up, and they were if your calf is torn, there's nothing we can do. We can't go back in there and sew it, because that would basically be trying to sew hamburger meat together. It doesn't work. And so that injury was a rough one to try to come back from, and just trying to get everything back. And, with my leg tightening up, it created lower back issues. And so needless to say, all the stuff I've been doing since I was 5, I always joke with Tisha, I'm are you sure you want to do this life with me? Because when I'm I'm 33, but she sees me on my time off, and I'm just a little old viejita. I'm griping and complaining, everything hurts. And I'm you sure you're going to want to do this? Because you're probably going to have to wipe my ass at 60.
Rough on the body, right?
Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast is powered by FKP MMA, Vancouver's #1 training destination at fkpmma.com.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month, even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending, 0 tears.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Do you ever watch a TV show set in a historical time period and think, How accurate is this really? But also, does it matter if it's accurate or not?
Nefertiti is a new podcast about shows set in ancient times. This season, we're recapping every episode of the show Spartacus, Blood and Sand.
I'm Ann Foster, and I have never seen this show before.
And I'm Gina Berry, and I have watched this show maybe too many times.
Join us every other Monday on the Nefertiti podcast as we discuss the real history behind Spartacus, Blood and Sand.
Follow Nefertiti, that's NEFER-TV, wherever you get your podcasts.
Now, before you go hunting for something else to listen to, let me make it easy. I'm Mike Carruthers, host of a podcast called Something You Should Know, and I speak with experts about fascinating things that affect your life, from human behavior, relationships, health, science, and everyday mysteries. We've been downloaded millions of times because every episode teaches you something you'll be talking about later. Open up Something You Should Know and give it one episode. You might just find your new favorite podcast.